Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Happy New Year again. We can just keep saying Happy New Year all year, right? So welcome back, Judy, and thank you for the cafe klatsch this morning, however you say that word. And I hope everybody got a cup of coffee before you got in, and I hope you are already in the groove of having a wonderful new year. So let's begin, as we do all our services here in our church, and just allow ourselves to be fully present in this moment. We take the joy of sharing coffee and laughter this morning with us into this prayer, because we know that laughter is love and love is God, and it's all good. We begin with bringing ourselves fully to this room, to this consciousness, to this spirit. We give thanks for this wonderful way to start the new year here at Unity. This wonderful way to get acquainted with new friends, new ideas, new ways to think and believe. We move through this day and this week and this year with joy in our hearts, with love in our hearts. Knowing that when we can have that positive attitude, positive things do happen, and for that we are grateful. And so we bless all churches, all synagogues, all mosques, all temples. We bless all people everywhere, because we know we are one with each other, and that all paths lead to God. May we never forget that. And may we always be grateful for all the good in our lives, for all the good that we experience, and all the good that we know is on its way to us now. And so it is. Amen. We've said Happy New Year a couple of times, and we are walking right into a brand new year. And so today I'm going to talk about the choices we have about how we look forward to this new year. How do we get through this new year? As we move into this transition from 222, and we can all agree that we're glad it's behind us, I think, for the most part, that as we move into 23, instead of calling it New Year's resolutions, let's call it new opportunities. How does that sound? Let's just talk about 2023 is going to be filled with new opportunities. So it was a difficult year for many of us. And, the news media took advantage of that. Don't they always? They stoked the fire of our fears by telling us about high gas prices, stock market turndowns, grocery prices going up every time we went to the store, the constant prediction by the media of a looming recession. We're going to hear that one probably all this year. And in 2022, we did experience a bit of that. But we don't have to experience the turndowns as bad, because they don't have to be bad. Nor do we have to fear them. It only becomes bad if we hold it that way, if we think of it that way. If we believe it's bad, and we think it's bad, guess what we're going to have? We're going to create bad in our life. That's how the quantum field works. Think about it. Many, many people over the years have become millionaires in bad economies because they're not thinking it's bad. They're thinking it's a new opportunity. So that's what I want us to learn to do. Learn to use that quantum field to our advantage because it's always at work. Quantum field is never not at work. It depends on you to give it your energy, and it'll give right back to you the energy you gave it. So we want to remember that the negative encounters, the negative issues are gone. Whatever you had in 2022 that didn't feel good or that you were afraid of, let it go. Let it go. Look ahead. Remember this, when we change our thoughts, we change our world. Just remember that. When you change your thoughts, you change your world. Because your thoughts create your world. I like one of the things that Mary Morrissey says. I don't know if any of you followed Mary Morrissey, but I've taught some of her classes and they're excellent. She teaches mostly on prosperity. And one of the things she says is, we will experience what we fear or revere. You will experience what you fear or revere. That's the emotion you give to the quantum field, and that's the motion that the quantum field is going to give back to you. And, you know, we have to learn to let go of the negative. We all have negative in our lives. You know, we all have sicknesses and deaths and downturns in our economy or in our financial world. The negatives come, but we don't have to give them our energy. What we have to do is move into this new year with a mind filled with new possibilities. Say that with me. New possibilities. There's always a new possibility. And this is what we did last week, by the way. If you missed it last week, we're sorry you did, but if you here, you remember that this is what we did last week. We did the burning bowl. We turned the old into ashes. We wrote down what we wanted to let go of for 2022 and came up here and put it in a burning bowl and turned it into ashes, and we walked away with an affirmation. That's exactly what we did. Did any of you ever feel lighter after that last week? Could you tell a difference? It's kind of interesting, isn't it? You don't expect it to actually change your energy, but it very often does. People tell me it often does. So today is about changing our words and our thoughts, and you know, New Year's resolutions. We're not doing that anymore. We throw that out the window and we talk about new possibilities. Get really clear on this, because this is the theme for the day from me and what I truly believe and have experienced. It doesn't matter what's going on in the economy. It doesn't matter. Am I not on? Can you hear me, sir? Okay. All right. Sure. Move it up closer. Okay. Yeah, I don't want. How's that? Can we do anything to turn it up, or? Okay, Michael, go turn it up. Then we'll blast you out. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? Okay, good. So where was I? So I want you to get it in your head that it does not matter what is going on in the economy. What is going on in your thoughts will create your world. It can be the worst economy in the world, and if you're thinking positive thoughts and you're not putting those negative thoughts out into that quantum field, you're not going to experience a bad economy. You'll experience what's going on in the economy, but you won't experience it as bad. So that's really what this emphasis is today, because this works, guys. I've been teaching this for a long time, and it works. And that's why I usually start off every new year with the theme of prosperity. So just one more time, it is what is going on in your thoughts that will create your world. And when I say I start the new year with prosperity every year, one of the first things I want you to get is that prosperity is not about money. It includes money, but it also includes health and careers and relationships. It's prosperous of what you experience in your whole life, not just what's in your pocketbook. Because if you can experience your life as prosperous, you'll have a better pocketbook. You don't have to know where it's going to come from. You don't have to know when it's going to happen, but it will happen. So our mind is so powerful, and I want you to really get that today, because it sounds like when I turn on the TV that I'm hearing all of these negative things, and they don't have to be true for you or me. You know, think about letting go of New Year's resolutions. I don't know if any of you have made New Year's resolutions or not, but they don't last but more than about 3 weeks, and that's how it works. You know, you make them and you don't like them, but you think you're going to do them, and you're going to lose some weight, or you're going to put away some money, or whatever your New Year's resolution is. And we thought that would fix it for the new year. But it won't, because what you're trying to do there is change a human habit that you don't really want to change anyway. You don't really want to stop eating that bowl of ice cream before you go to bed. You don't want to give that up. That's part of life's pleasures. The things that we say we have to give up to have a New Year's resolution, you're doing it and you're hating it. You see the contrast? You're doing something you don't really want to do. That's why it never works, and that's why after 3 or 4 weeks, you give up. So I want us to set that aside as not how we enter this new year. The spiritual law, to finish that point about the New Year's resolutions, those are our human habits. We are both human and divine. But what we want to hone in on is who we are as divine individuals. It's who we are as spiritual individuals. Because it's in that spiritual realm that we change things. You don't change things too often or too well in our humanness. But in our spiritual world, when we learn how to use it and work with it, amazing things happen. The spiritual law that we call the quantum field, quantum physics, is always at work. It's never not working. I know that's a double negative, and I apologize, but it's never not working. It's always working. So And in that understanding, and in us being able to use that quantum field, that quantum law, we can create anything we choose. Now, none of us were raised learning that. None of us were told we could, well, maybe some of you were. But you can do anything and create anything you choose to. There are no limits in the spiritual realm. Because what you think and put into that spiritual realm is what you're going to get back. So all we have to do is change our thinking. We're always creating, never not creating. So all we have to think about is, what do I want to create? What do I want to create? Make it outlandish. Because if you can believe it, it'll happen. Remember the book years ago, one of the first New Thought books was Wayne Dyer, Believing is Seeing. Believing is seeing. Not seeing is believing. We used to say that, but believing is seeing. So we want to hone in on this quantum law and remember that it's a universal, the quantum field is called the law, a universal law, because it's in the category with all the other universal laws, like gravity and electricity and the things that never change. They're universal laws. The quantum field is a universal law. It doesn't change. Gravity doesn't change. You already know how to deal with gravity. You don't even think about it. That's what I want you to learn to do with the quantum law. I want you to learn to use it so well that you never think about it. It's just a part of how you live your life. And my goal is to teach you how to live the life that you've always dreamed of. And to know that you can. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what your dreams are. What matters is what you think about it and how you deal with it. Remember what we said, that the quantum field and who we are is what we think and what we feel and what we speak and what we actually do. You have all of those things in integrity, miracles happen all the time. So some of you may be new to the church, and those of you who are not new to the church, we're going to do a little review here of what we've taught in the past to help you get into that understanding that you don't ever have to give up thinking that your thoughts are I'll just say magic, because they can be when we're using them properly. So first of all, a preview of some of our previous lessons we learned that the universe is biased toward healing and wholeness and thriving. Everything in this universe is biased toward healing and wholeness and thriving. I loved what one of my professors said one time. We had a lot of trees up at school too, but he said, go out and find some tree mold and cut half of that tree mold away. And then go back the next day and see that it's grown back. This is how the universe works. This is how our whole nature works. It works in our favor. No one ever told us that, and sometimes it sure doesn't feel like that. But in truth, if we become habitually knowing the truth of that, it begins to happen. While I was writing this, I was thinking about this precious young man who just got killed on the football field this week and was brought back to life. And that was not a good thing. That was not a good thing. But what came from it was absolutely amazing, because he had been living a good life. He had been using his own money and energy to take care of children at Christmas and all year long who didn't have toys. And he had like a goal of $235,000, which he'd met, to have toys for the children of his area where he had grown up. That's now $8 million. That goal went from $235,000 to $8 million. Huh? In 3 days, yeah. So that probably made him well right there. It would have made me well. But this is how the universe works. The goods, he's well, I mean, he's not well, but he's going to be okay. This was not good for him. Who knows if he'll ever be able to play football again. But when you're able to look at what is the good, there's always good. And when we key in and hone in on the good, amazing things happen. And that's all you have to realize. That's all you have to know. So that was one of the things we learned, was the universe is biased toward wholeness and healing. The world is not an uncaring, random expression of biological processes. It is a living, breathing reflection of love of all living things. Remember our quantum field. Love is the strongest, highest energy, and fear is the lowest one. And the universe does not resonate down here. The universe resonates up here. Now, we can keep ourselves from the good. We can keep ourselves stuck down here when we don't know that there's something better. So we want to remember that when we interact with the spiritual world, and it's governed by the energy that we radiate, and we have our energy radiating from our belief system, then our thoughts, our words, and our actions will make a difference in how our world shows up for us. There was another quote, don't remember who said this, but I wrote it down. From invisible spiritual substance will come material manifestation. From invisible spiritual substance, the quantum field, will come material manifestation. It will take form in your life. Think of the times that you've made things take form in your life. It wasn't a coincidence. You created that out of your thinking. It's not our circumstances, but rather our thoughts about our circumstances that determine our power to transform our circumstances. So think about that. It's not the circumstance. The circumstances for Damar were not very good last week. We don't know. He may never be able to play ball again, and maybe he will. Those were not great circumstances. But the thoughts about the circumstances determine the power to transform them. He's already better. He's already doing well. He's already got a good attitude. He's already raised $8 million. I mean, the good has come from that. Keep it in mind that our good comes from that power to transform our thinking. One of the other things I've taught you here is that your immutable truth is that you are an unlimited spiritual being. You have no limits, good or bad. You have no limits. your thoughts will make the decision about what shows up. All too often we put our energetic power into dealing with our disasters. You ever notice that? I do it too sometimes. I have to watch it. We put our energetic power into dealing with our disasters or in fearing our potential disasters. You ever fear about it before it happens? Sure we do. That's what we don't want to do, because then we're creating that disaster. So begin to watch, where are you putting your energetic power? Are you putting it in the faith of spiritual miracles that we all can create, and that we are living in a universe that is biased in our favor, and all we have to do is align with that? Or are we putting our energetic power into our disasters? The woe is me, or what may happen, or I can't do this because this might happen. Just notice where your thinking is, because wherever that is what's going to show up, what's going to take form and manifest. One of the other things that we've talked about here a lot of times is about that. It's that we have to remember that everything begins in the invisible before it's made manifest. Feel the chair you're sitting in. That was an idea before it was a chair. Somebody created that chair, how it was structured, how it was, the colors, everything about that chair was an idea before it was brought into manifestation. This is true for everything. Everything in this room that you're looking at, everything is an idea before it's brought into manifestation. So what your ideas are begin in the invisible realm. Be careful what your ideas are. You want to watch, stand guard at the portal of your mind. Make sure you know what is in your ideas and your belief systems and your actions, because those are going to take form. We've already talked about only two energies on the planet, love and fear. Only two energies on the planet, love and fear. You're either radiating from love, or all the other things on the scale as they move downward are fear. You want to stay away from the fear. And you want to have thoughts of love. And this can be about everything. You can have love in your heart for people that you don't think you can love, or whatever you've not ever thought about loving. You can love that. We are told to love that. Jesus told us to love that. And when we love that, guess what? Good things happen in our lives. Good things happen when you don't even know what good thing might happen. But you're radiating from a place of good, of high, of just what comes back to you is good. And you don't even know why, but it was something that you did or thought or created out of love. Sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes we have to learn to love the unlovable, but it pays off. So we have to be careful with our thoughts, because what we carry over from the past, what appears to be true, will take form unless we can turn it around. We must pay attention to every thought we think. We must learn to think only thoughts of love. We need to let go of the fear every time we notice ourselves in fear. Love is the highest vibration and will bring all good things to us. Marianne Williamson also says this. She says, your faith in love does not determine love's power, but it does determine whether or not you will experience that power. That's the one I wanted to put on the screen. I didn't want to bother him with it. It was a last minute one I remembered, so but I'm going to say it again. Your faith in love does not determine love's power, but it does determine whether or not you will experience that power. The universe is programmed to manifest through you, through your energy. And the very highest possibilities for your own creativity and your own joy is always brought to you through you as you align with love in that quantum field. Our world hasn't figured that out yet. Our world is entrenched in the belief that profit, not love, is our bottom line. And we're showing up with that more and more every day, sad to say. That's why the world is in a mess right now, because the energetic beliefs of the masses of the people around the world are more interested in power than they are in love and in caring and in, we've gone off in the wrong direction. But every one of us can turn it around for ourselves. And it only takes 13 people in a room to change the world. Did you know that? If there were 13 of us in this room meeting every day with the exact same ideas, we could change the world. Because 13 people did. That's how we became a democracy. So if every one of us turned around our thinking processes, not only will you make a difference in our own lives, you can make a difference in the lives of those around you as well. The world right now is dominated by scarcity, and the more that we allow ourselves to think scarcity, the more we're going to have scarcity. And that's true of populations around the world. When I was 12 years old, that was a long time ago. But there was I don't know if you remember Pogo, but Pogo was one of my favorite cartoons in the newspaper, and I read the newspaper every day. And I'll never forget this. I kept it on my mirror for years. And it's Pogo, and they're playing army, and they're in the forest, and they've got their fake guns and their hats on, and they're playing army. And Pogo said, "We've found the enemy, and the enemy is us. We found the enemy, and the enemy is us. And we have to be able to turn that around." The other thought I wrote down is our internal potential to create abundance is ultimately the source of our external abundance. Your internal potential to create abundance is ultimately the source of your external abundance. If we say, I don't have, I can't, I'm afraid, that's what we'll create. We'll create, I can't, I'm afraid. We'll be afraid. So what we want to do in this new year with these new possibilities, to learn deeply how you relate to the quantum powers. You all know how to relate to gravity. You all know how to relate to electricity. You know not to go stick your finger in the hole of the outlet. We know how to operate with some of these laws. I want you to learn how to operate with this quantum law. It will change your life exponentially. start thinking from love. Start remembering love. Changes everything. And notice what begins to take form in your life. So every time you see yourself thinking a negative at that very moment, just turn it around. Don't beat yourself up. Don't feel bad about it. Just turn it around into something that is love. It's just, they say it only takes 21 days to change a habit. So begin to notice what you think. And it's not a positive. Just turn it around right then. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just do it. Change it until it's now a new habit. And as I said, just thinking good thoughts brings good things to you. Things you wouldn't even expect. So some of the things that you can help yourself do to turn this around, because you're going to keep hearing it in the news and, all the doomsday people on TV and whatever. So some of the things you can do daily are count your blessings, say prayers of gratitude. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said this: if you could only ever say one prayer, let it be a prayer of gratitude. If you could only ever say one prayer, let it be a prayer of gratitude. So every day, count your blessings. Every day, make sure you say prayers of gratitude. Keep your thoughts and actions on love. Remember that love is the high end of the spectrum that brings good. Spiritual growth involves giving up our old stories, letting go of our past, and replacing it with positive thoughts every time you catch yourself in a negative thought. Don't ever say to yourself, other people are talented and I'm not. Some of us have it and some of us don't. Some of us are rich and some of us are not. Don't say those things. They're not true. Don't put that in your head, and if you've got it in your head and you hear it talking to you, let it go. It's not true. You get to create. You are the creator of your own good. Remember, you don't defy gravity, so don't defy the quantum field. It's your ticket to paradise. It's the natural working of the universe. So, no more worries about New Year's resolutions. Just positive thoughts about new possibilities. So let's move into a moment of prayer. Just find a place in your chair and just this is a good time to look and see, where am I doing these things? We all do it. We're all human. We're all still working on it. But just notice the places where you allow yourself to be brought into fear based on what someone says on the television, or what it looks like when you go to the grocery store to buy something that has gone up $2. You've got a choice about how you deal with that. So just notice those places. Notice where the fear creeps in. It's different for all of us. And then when you have identified what it is that comes through your mind that may cause fear, some of us we can get focused on, am I going to outlive my retirement? We can focus on a lot of things that can create fear. And none of that is going to help us move past it. So whatever it is for you, let it go. Notice it and let it go. Let go of the fear. Let go of the I can't. Let go of the I don't have. Create positivity. Create love. Love the life you have. Love the unlovable. Allow love to be the energy that rules your life. Allow yourself to let go of anything that could be a negative thought. That create a negativity in your energetic field. Be kind to yourself. Don't be unkind about yourself. Love yourself. Look for the good in yourself. Look for the good in everyone and everything. And do good. You are the creator of your world, no matter what is going on in the outer world. Just always remember that. Anytime you have to choose love. And give thanks. Allow yourself to live in gratitude. We all are blessed in this country with so many wonderful things, so many that we take for granted. So begin to count your blessings, truly count them. And say prayers of gratitude. It has been scientifically proven that gratitude and love resonate at the same energetic resonance. So always find something to be grateful for. You can love people, but you don't have to be around the ones that are negative. You can love them from afar. Speak only good, speak only kindness. Be kind to yourself. And remember, you are creating your future with every thought that you think and every good deed that you do. You're creating your future. And so as you ponder the places that you would like to let go of and have different thoughts about, give thanks. Look for the good. Look for all the good that's truly in your life that sometimes we just kind of take for granted, and give thanks. And so we do give thanks. We do leave today with hearts filled with gratitude, new ideas and new possibilities. We make those gratitude journals and count the blessings that we already have each and every day. So we say thank you, thank you, thank you for all the good in our lives and all the good that's on its way to us now. And so it is. Amen. All right, so we're going to have a song called Only Believe. And the words will be on the screen. Only believe, only believe, all things are possible, only believe, only believe, only believe, all things are possible, only believe. Only believe, all things are possible, only believe, only believe, only believe, all things are possible, only believe, all things are possible. All right, take that one with you today. All right, so we've got a couple of announcements. First of all, we're very grateful for all the ways you bless us, and we want to always acknowledge all the kindness and the goodness that you do as you fill our collection plate. We're very, very grateful for that. The two ways that probably are the easiest if you aren't here, you're traveling, or you want to make a donation to us is there's a link on our newsletter. Very easy, just hit the link. And then there's also a link on our website, and our website is unityinrockport.org. So we make it easy, and we're very grateful. So next week is the 15th of January, and it is Potluck Sunday. So we want you all to be here for Potluck Sunday. Right after church, good cooking. If you get up that morning and say you forgot, don't worry about it. We always have enough food for 5 times as many people as show up. So don't miss it next week, and do bring a dish if you can. But if you don't remember, don't worry. Come on and join us. The next Sunday is the 22nd. And the 22nd, we have our white stone ceremony. And I am probably running out of time, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on what the white stone ceremony is. But I will put an explanation of it in our newsletter. It's an ancient tradition, and it's something that people love. These stones are literally ground from stones out of a quarry in Jerusalem, and then they're put back together. And these stones, I think I have every one I've ever done, and I did a number of these white stone ceremonies in Houston. So mark your calendar for January the 22nd for our white stone ceremony. And watch the newsletter for further explanation about what it's about. And then on January the 29th, we're going to have a metaphysical movie matinee. You like that? All right, it's going to be at... Yeah, well, we're going to have it here. We no butter, though, because you can't have it in here. No, it's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to have it here. There's a book called Real Spirits, R-E-E-L, Spirits. And the man is from Unity, and he has a full book of all of the movies that we've all seen with that have metaphysical meanings. So if any of you have a favorite movie that you would like to see done metaphysically, let me know after church. Write it on a piece of paper and give it to me. I may have maybe a list next week. But you know, there are things like Forrest Gump, and there's some funny ones like Harold and Maude. I mean, there's a whole bunch of I mean, the book's about that thick. So we haven't chosen the one yet for the 29th, but any ideas you have or any favorite movies that you have, just bring me your ideas and we'll choose something. So, all right, let's see what else I want to tell you. I think that's all the announcements, so we're going to close out with our peace song and our prayer for protection, and there's still coffee and good eats out there if you want to stop again. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And our prayer for protection: the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, all is well. See you next week for potluck. Hi there, sir.